I entered this exact build in our brand new build analyzer for free at NBA2KLab.com and got a build score of 216. This analyzer takes into account different breakpoints and tries to optimize your build by giving suggestions into which badges are close that you might want to target. This is a free tool, so enter your build's attributes and see if you can beat my score. What is good, everybody, and welcome to the NBA 2K Lab channel. My name is Spill, and in this video, we're going to be looking at my favorite build right now, the 6'6 Ball Hawk. I've been using this build for the entirety of Season 6, and I can confidently say it's one of the most well-rounded wing builds in the game. And you guys know how much I love well-rounded builds. Since this year's 2K is almost purely animation-based, especially with the introduction of Pro Play, I've created this build to prioritize some of the most important breakpoints while not worrying as much about hitting certain badge levels. What I love most about this build is that it gets contact dunks on top of everything else, making this build a more than viable dunker. Now, dunk is very expensive this year in 2K24, so the fact that I'm able to get everything I want and contact dunks is a huge bonus. But this build doesn't just dunk the ball. On top of an insane 96 steal rating for Hall of Fame right stick ripper and Hall of Fame interceptor, this build can still shoot from anywhere on the court and handle the ball like a PG, making it an effective combo guard as well. Now, I recently just switched over from Xbox to PlayStation, and this was the first build I made and pretty much the only build I've been using lately, and I really think you guys might like it. But be sure to watch the whole video because I'm going to go through every attribute and animation breakpoint and tell you why I chose that threshold, and you can copy or tweak the build to your liking. So without further ado, subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into it. Starting with our vitals, we're going 6'6" with a healthy wingspan of 7 foot, and we're going minimum weight to help preserve our stamina as much as possible. I made my build at shooting guard, but it does put me at the 3 pretty frequently when I load in the rec with or without a team, so just keep that in mind. Now, since this build is a ball hawk, we're going to start with our defense, and the best attribute on this build is going to be our 96 steal rating for the aforementioned Hall of Fame right stick ripper and Hall of Fame interceptor. Now, admittedly, lane steals in this game aren't the greatest, and they saw a huge nerf from 2K23, but personally, I'd rather have a higher steal rating than not have any at all to give me the greatest chance to intercept passes. As shown by our tests, Hall of Fame interceptor showed amazing results by seeing a 61% steal rate, which is 11% better than the gold level. Right stick ripper is working as intended and works very well, but if you were to go 95 just for the Hall of Fame interceptor, you likely wouldn't see a huge drop off, and you do gain some valuable attribute points if you were to tweak this build. But moving on to perimeter defense, we went with an 83 rating for silver challenger and silver fast feet, making this build a sturdy defender with the ability to generate good contests, especially with our 7-foot wingspan. Not only do we get solid perimeter defense and a high steal rating, but we also get enough block for bronze chase down artists, which is more of a bonus since I mainly like having the block for better hands up defense and jump contests. Because if you have no block, you're going to get those slow block animations, which typically generate no contest. Now, since I made this build to play 2 and run breaks, I didn't put any rebounding on it, but if you wanted to, rebounding is fairly cheap and probably wouldn't take much to put a little on your build. But let's go back to finishing, and I really only have 2 attributes I invested here, and that's the 87 driving dunk and 45 standing dunk. The 87 driving dunk with the 75 vert gives us pro contact dunks off too. Now with this build, I'm not looking to get a contact dunk every time, which is the key because you do have to pick your spots a little bit if you plan on using the meter with an 87 dunk. But the dunks from using the button on this build still feel pretty elite, and you unlock a lot of solid dunk packages at this threshold, which is why I'm actually enjoying this 87 dunk in the rec. Here's the list of dunks I'm using currently, and if you guys have any good dunk packages you've been using, drop them down in the comments below. But moving on to our standing dunk, we went with a 45 to get both regular standing dunk packages, which is actually an underrated part of this build and also costs next to nothing, so definitely make sure you include this. Moving on to shooting, we have an 87 3-point rating, which is the max 3-point rating at this wingspan, and of course we chose this rating and wingspan exclusively for access to the T-Mac base, which in my opinion is the best and most consistent base in the game when it comes to contests. The nice thing about an 87 3-point rating is that it defaults your mid-range to 72, which unlocks silver mid-range magician, which performed extremely well in our tests. I haven't had any issues shooting with these ratings, and I feel these thresholds have great value. If anything, I would have liked to get an 84 mid-range for gold mini magician, but I'm content with how I made the build. And then we have a 93 free throw for easy knockdowns at the stripe. I hate missing free throws in 2K24, so generally I like my free throw to be pretty high. Then we have our playmaking, and starting with pass accuracy, we have a 74 pass accuracy for bronze touch passer, and then we also get silver dimer as well. These passes have generally been fine for me with a couple bad passes here and there, but as long as you understand you can't always throw full court break passes and lobs all the time, this 74 pass accuracy is still a really good good value. At 75, you'll unlock Sabonis pass style, which is solid, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. Next, we have an 86 ball handle, and this is going to give us Kemba Walker escape moves, which is the best escape in the game, and then a 75 speed with ball for silver badges like blow by, hyperdrive, and speed booster, making this build a threat with the ball in his hands. And if you want to see the animations I'm rocking on this build, here's the list of animations I'm currently using. Now lastly, we have our physicals, and I went with an 85 speed, which is pretty random, but personally I like multiples of 5, and an 85 speed, especially when paired with solid defense, will make this build an even better defender and allows me to run breaks that much quicker. So I just wanted to beef up the speed just a little bit instead of just going 81 for the necessary badges. Then a 73 acceleration for the playmaking and defensive badges, a 45 strength to give us bronze clamps, and most importantly the 75 vert for pro contact dunks. This vertical is also going to help your chase down blocks as well. Now as always, I try to go max stamina if I can, because stamina plays a huge role in determining green window sizes on dunks and jump shots. And then there we have it, the most well-rounded ball hawk build in NBA 2K24. So if you're a fan of generating turnovers and getting buckets in a variety of ways, this might be the build for you. Now that is all we got for my brand new ball hawk build, guys. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to drop a like to help out the channel on our way to 500k subs. Thank you all for watching. It's been Spill, and I'm out. Later.